some examples of accessible hotel rooms that have not been accessible. Well, this is in a bathroom, a public bathroom in a hotel that is clearly not accessible, where they put the hand soap that is not in a place where I could reach. And then we have, this is a safe, and everything here is supposed to be in a place where a wheelchair user should be able to reach. This is a safe that I can reach, but I can't see in it to actually use it. And then we have a shower. They have the adjustable shower place, but I can't actually, they put the shower head on up where I cannot reach it. So these are all examples. This is going out onto the patio. This is over, you can see I can't wheel out actually onto the patio because the sliding door, there's a sliding door where it's not actually in the ground. So I can't roll out onto the patio. This is the mini bar in an all-inclusive, and I can't reach the mini bar features. And then we have another safe. You can see this is in an accessible room. I can't actually open the fridge to the mini bar. These are all features in what is supposed to be an accessible room. This is in an accessible room. I can't reach the closet. Another shower. Another patio, another shower where I can't reach. This is a great feature. It was a screenshot from a video rolling down. They had this great feature in this room out on the deck where they thought it would be wonderful to have this this ramp that rolled out onto this wonderful little deck area where they had this day bed. It was wonderful, beautiful area, but it rolled out onto sand. So absolutely beautiful, lovely. But as you can see in the second picture, I'm tipping out of my chair. Absolutely unsafe. They didn't have anyone quality check this. They didn't have anybody in a chair actually see if this was safe or usable. So absolutely unsafe, not something that anybody checked to make sure was actually useful. So, and again, this is my hotel here at the Marriott. Wonderful, beautiful room, almost completely accessible, except the patio or the balcony has this huge 4-inch safety feature because it's a hurricane area, but there is no threshold ramp to be able to actually let me use the beautiful patio area. So I can't actually go out onto that balcony. And then this is the airport, which we're not talking about the airport, but I thought this was important. You can see nobody is there actually making sure that that the wheelchair seating is actually there for wheelchair users and their families. Everybody is sitting there in that wheelchair seating. So wheelchair rooms are not actually wheelchair accessible. So the whole wheelchair room, the accessible room needs to be accessible for wheelchair users. The closets need to be accessible for wheelchair users. We need to be able to hang up our clothes. The showers need to be accessible. The shower head needs to be lowered. What was wonderful about this accessible room here at the Marriott is that the bellman actually went up to the room with me and walked through the room with me to make sure that everything was okay. The beds were lowered, which was fabulous. They were not on a platform, which meant that if I needed a lift in order to be able to get from my chair to the bed, I would have been able to slide that lift under the bed. A lot of times the beds are on a platform and you can't slide a lift under the bed in order to be able to use that lift. But these beds here at the Marriott are, which was fabulous. I had the option of either having a roll-in shower or having a tub, which was nice. The one problem I did have with the bathroom is that instead of having individual shampoo and conditioner and soaps, is that they were mounted, and they are mounted above my head, so I can't access them, but they were able to bring me individual soaps and containers and shampoos so that I'm able to use them. So that was very usable. Everything was low enough. The safe is low enough. So all that needs to be low and usable. The thermostat was low enough. The outlets need to be in a usable location, and the the hair dryer needs to be usable. The towels need to be low enough to use. A lot of times they bring everything else down, but then they keep the towels above my head and above arm's reach, so I can't use those either. So everything needs to be low enough. There needs to be, the locks on the door need to be lowered. And I think that's about everything. Am I forgetting anything over there? We talked about the doors being too hard to open. In February this past year, I actually did injure myself opening a door over here in Orlando because it was so hard to open. We forget that we really don't have the same strength as somebody who can stand. We can't lean our shoulders into it and use extra strength to open a door. And I had to go to physical therapy and regain strength to because I injured myself trying to open a hotel door. So there's a lot that needs to be considered with that. And just if there is a balcony or anything else, that needs to be accessible as well.
So we will move to blind travelers. Toby is with Expedia, and he's blind, has a service dog with him everywhere. And Toby, can you talk about hotels and accessibility from a blind perspective on what's needed?
Yeah, happy to. Thanks for the opportunity, Jake. And I appreciate this story, Christy, because it, as with your experience, the bellhop, Sam, great dude, went up with me to the room and, showed me around the room and how to use some of the inaccessible features like, the Keurig and which cup is decaf and which is regular. That's a very important, typically inaccessible thing to determine. So I think the reason I called that out is because Sam being such an awesome guy and just naturally wanting to help, really it starts with check-in at a hotel. For me, I just want to feel welcome. So, arriving at the desk and being oriented by the person who's behind the desk, like, instead of just saying, how can I help you? They often I'll get, like you're at the Marriott check-in desk and, so just give me some orientation, make sure I'm at the right place where I want to be. And then trying to find my way around the lobby and these large hotel sort of complexes like this, it's really easy to get turned around. So it's very helpful when there's tactile changes in the surface. So like going from carpet to tile. And I know there's probably lots of issues with carpet and power chairs or push chairs either. But I think we can accomplish an inclusive design that does give us some kind of textural changes in the different areas around the hotel complex, and that holds true to restaurants and things as well. So it just makes us have a more fluid and graceful experience if we can be as independent as possible, for sure. And then in the room there's lots of little things, not just the coffee, but like the shampoo and conditioner, those are always unlabeled. So the hack that I use for all these things, it's not a hack at all. It's actually a very robust service, is Ira. And it's super helpful to be able to just use my smartphone, dial up a remote agent and use the phone camera to, distinguish between objects or help me with the TV remote, which is wildly inaccessible as well. And I actually yesterday got the agent to describe the view from my balcony, so I could articulate that to other people and help me, be oriented, like which way my room is facing and things like that. Just things that are important to us. And despite the loss of my sight, it doesn't mean that I don't have vision or imagination. Like I still want to participate and enjoy the trip just like everyone else.
Thank you, Toby. Alan, you want to give us a little background on you and on yourself and talk about hotels and autism?
Okay. I've been in travel since the last century, which just makes me old, really, I guess. I have a son on the spectrum, we discovered when traveling with him that it isn't easy. And what we were doing was taking our problems from Stamford, Connecticut to where we were going. I looked around for what help there is for people traveling with autism. Back then, I found the answer was nothing. Well, there's a need. Somebody's got to do it. It turned out to be me. And plenty of other people on the team. What we do is for the travel industry as a whole, hotels, airlines, attractions, restaurants, we provide the two halves of the equation. We get the entity ready for the autism community, which is training the people. These are the things that you might expect to happen. These are some of the things you can do in response to them. Then we also try to get the community ready for the entity. And we do this with a visitor guide, basically curating information that families with an autistic member may want. Which rooms face north for if you've got a child that is very light sensitive. Facing north in itself isn't going to ease the problem, isn't going to cure the problem, but will ease it a little. What's the lighting like? Is it dimmer switches or light switches? If you get a kid that's sensitive to light, dimmer switches are going to help you because you can control the level infinitely and get it right for them. So that's part of what we do, is just curate all of this information for all of the senses and put it together. Now you asked about design elements. Things that are very easy, and one of the things that is not too recognized with autism is when kids get overwhelmed, they can run off. It's well known within the autism community, elopement is a big risk. What's acknowledged less often or spoken about less often is a lot of kids on the spectrum are very attracted to any body of water. Now, if you think about it, you've seen headlines in the local press somewhere where an autistic kid has wandered off and found a body of water with some tragic results. So elopement is a big worry for a lot of families. What can the hotel do about it? Not a great deal, except there are $20 hanging door alarms that they could issue at check-in to the family. Say, hey, no charge for this, but we will charge you $50 if you don't bring it back. But that door alarm will make a whole lot of difference to that family feeling secure. Their kid is not going to run off without them knowing. Just one other thing with the showers. For most places, it's for a typical room at the Marriott. I was grateful to see both. It's usually a fixed shower head. Occasionally, you'll get a handheld shower head. For a family with an autistic kid, it's even of sort of a teenager, may not be able to bathe themselves properly, and the parents need a handheld shower to be able to bathe, to be able to assist their kid. Showers that have got both in every room are great. If not, at least tell the autism community which rooms have handheld showers.
Okay, so we're running a little low on time.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about room location. And so just because the assumption by a lot of hoteliers is that they need to be, positioned near the elevator. That's probably the worst. That may be the worst place to be for. So anyway, could you talk about that, the room location? And
yeah, it's again, when the information that we ask the hotels to provide, we ask them for which are the quietest rooms in the house, and actually put that in the guide so that families know, I want rooms on the 4th floor at the end of that corridor. Generally speaking, away from elevators is good because of the noise factor and the amount of traffic factor, just less people. Right at the far end of the corridor, you're the only person. That helps.
All right. Thank you very much. This was a great group with terrific insights and stories behind them.